Hi there. Thanks for joining. Bethany, Londyn here, and for all the replay viewers, we've made it. We've made it to lesson 16. Whew, and I gotta be honest, this isn't really fun anymore. We're going deep. Again, I know some people chose off yesterday because they were like, this is too much, this is too deep. But what we're doing, guys, is we're reading Calling in the One, 7 weeks to attract the love of our life. And we are uncovering layers. And that is essentially what we're going through today and yesterday and the day before. So every day is another level. It's all good stuff. I have to say, though, as a reader, that I like people just to be direct and to the point. And some of these chapters I feel like they're almost repetitive from a different angle, which is fine because, you know, there's people here today that weren't on the call or the Periscope yesterday, but this stuff is, it's deep. It's deep. Okay. It's not as deep as yesterday, but actually I want to touch on the biggest message of yesterday first because that was life-changing. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining. So we're calling in the one. We're looking for our soulmate. That's what we're doing. So the biggest lesson from yesterday, which was so powerful for me to recognize, is that the first lesson we are taught in life, the very first lesson as a baby, as an infant, is to trust. Because we are at the care of a million other people. And all we can do is trust as an infant. I'm your soulmate. Thanks. I don't know. I don't know you. So yeah, so if that is where everything stemmed from, if we were in a bad situation as an infant or a baby growing up, then there are huge impacts that would have taken on us and that come through now as we're looking for relationships. Or maybe you are in a relationship and this will still support you because it can support whether it's a good relationship, if you're feeding a need and with this relationship to satisfy some emptiness from a childhood. That's kind of some of the other stuff that has come up. Hello, hello. So yeah, are you guys watching because I'm entertaining? Or are you guys watching because you're curious about finding the love of your life? I'm curious. Tap the heart if you're single. How about that? Tap the heart if you're single. We got two. 2 people are single. 2 people are single. I did just read the attachment theory. Okay, we have a few people that are single. Okay, good. It's not just me. Ah! Okay, so I want to read the quote that she has first. How do you take your woundings, your betrayals, your holes, and make yourself holy instead of battered? This process involves the dramatic I can't even say the word, but it's good. This process involves the dramatic recreation of yourself and your life, the gaining of a very different perspective. So a lot of us, when we have betrayals in our life, we look to fill them with these holes. So sometimes what we fill the holes with aren't the best ones. So yeah, the bottom line is we're balancing this yin and this yang and this love, if we're coming from love or if we're coming from fear. And I don't know if you guys have seen that Jim Carrey video. It's awesome. But anyways, yeah. So first off, what she touches upon is if we're coming from this place of being lonely or desperate and looking at that, taking a look at that, because if we're coming from that space, that's not what we want to attract. We don't want to attract people that are also feeling that way. We want to get to a place where we feel whole so that we can also meet someone that's whole. Or if you guys have read the book Attached, I think that's the name of it. I read that recently. Coming from a place of being secure. Okay, I'm going to block you if you can be like that. So the book Attached is about meeting someone that's secure and also becoming secure. And that's actually a really awesome book too. I don't know if you guys have read it. But she starts off this book, obviously these people have attachment issues. Henry and David, they've been dating for 5 years. And Henry has always been completely committed, and Amanda has been uncertain this whole entire time. So she's in and then she's out. She's got one toe in and one toe out at all times. It's not grounds for a healthy relationship. So at the time where Amanda finally came to the space where she was finally ready to fully commit, Henry was like, now I'm not interested anymore. I got somebody that I'm talking to at work. And boom, downward spiral. Game is over. So what they didn't do is look at what we talked about yesterday, was look at their childhood and see if they had any trust issues. Because if they had looked, and knowing that that's the first lesson we learn, it's very important to see if we do have trust issues, because that's going to start us off on all sorts of different spirals. And the reluctance to allow oneself to open up depending on how they were treated. Oh, geez. Yeah, Facebook. I think I've heard. Oh, there was a joke about Facebook being called like something. It's like the key to breaking up. I've heard of that also on Instagram. But anyways, so you want to navigate and look at your childhood and see if there have been any things in your childhood upbringing. Like I was speaking yesterday, the most powerful things that happen to our childhood with where we stem our core beliefs from are before the age of 7. So if you're under the age of 7 and looking back to your childhood from infant to age of 7, like how were you treated? How were you brought up? Were you given lots of love? Were you left while your mom and dad were at work all day? Were you abused? So looking at all those different things. This next story she goes into is about Tammy, and Tammy had a Mexican father and Italian mother, and her father was a heavy drinker and beat her mother. And by the time she was 4, they left. So they were able to escape, and she moved in with her grandparents. Well, she had this in her head because her grandparents were so mad, of course, at her father that she was a bad seed. And she heard that. And her grandparents apparently were very prejudiced towards Hispanics. So all throughout life, she felt she was bad. She was a bad seed. And she struggled with feelings of inferiority because of who she was. And she didn't know any different. This is just how she was raised. So when she's coming from a place of I'm inferior to everybody else, like she's not going to be able to meet the man of her dreams. She's not going to call in her one, the soul man. So it's not that it's true. It is a truth that we learned, but these truths need to be like chopped out and combusted. So here's what she says. As you might imagine, the beliefs we hold, particularly when they're unconscious and unidentified, can wreak absolute havoc with our love lives. For not only do we live our lives in reaction to these beliefs, but also because we are constantly finding ways to validate and confirm these beliefs. So if I feel that I'm inferior, and what's going on? We are going over lesson 16. We've been going over a lesson a day. And there are 7 weeks, so we're to 16. We made it a little over 2 weeks now. And it's about calling in the one, calling in our soulmate. So if we're coming from a place that we're inferior from the age of childhood to now, to 40, to 20, to 30, you automatically, subconsciously, will attract people that are validating that you're inferior. Because until you shift to a worthiness, a place of value, and how awesome and amazing you are, and how you're the only one like you and unique, then you will attract people that are going to basically talk down to you. Oh, thank you. I know, I'm awesome. It took a while to get there, though. I've done a lot of personal work. That's why now I did personal development training. Went through a course, did training, speaking. I can do speaking workshops, trainings, you name it. But I just love this book because it's similar to a lot of the stuff that I've gone through with my personal development. So I'm doing it with you, doing the work. Another story on, thanks. You should see me about 5 seconds before I turn this on. I'm getting better, but my heart races. Okay, so this girl Anne grew up in Beverly Hills, a fancy, rich, wealthy, luxury place, right? Yet her mom was a single mother. They were living in an apartment. Her mom drove apparently a beater, and she was always embarrassed. So she was always embarrassed, didn't invite people over. She was always hiding. She felt ugly. She felt poor. And she carried that into her adulthood, where she still feels, even though she's making 6 figures a year, which is pretty good, she feels inferior because she hadn't let go of that yet. So I don't know, do any of you guys, is this resonating for you? Are you starting to notice patterns in your life where you've created a conversation around your come from, a story of unworthiness or inferiority? Feel free to tap the heart if that makes sense. I'll tap the heart. Makes sense to me. In looking back at some of my relationships, I realized that I actually met the man of my dreams. And as soon as I met him, it was so amazing. It was like the man of my dreams, right? I had never experienced something so amazing before. So what I did, knowing that this was so amazing, is that I started destructing it. I would think to myself, wow, I can't believe this guy's dating me. I can't believe he cooks for me and we're traveling, we're doing this. Like, it was amazing. He would call like clockwork, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I don't know if you guys have heard of that joke, like, if you could win the lottery today, what would you do with it? And just knowing that if you did really get all that stuff today, like, what conversations are you gonna have in the back of your head? Are you gonna know that you're worth it, the lottery winnings? Are you gonna know that this is for sure what you're gonna do with the lottery winnings? Or all of a sudden you're gonna have stories about, oh, I can't believe I won. I can't believe I won. Oh my goodness, now all my friends, they aren't really my friends anymore. They just want my money. Like, this is about getting through those conversations in a relationship so that when we do meet the man of our dreams or the girl of our dreams, that we're ready. We're ready, we're prepared, and we're attracting it because we are at that stage ourselves. So basically today is all about acknowledging that we do have some limiting belief conversations and noticing where it came from in childhood, and then breaking them up, letting them go. So yeah, I mean, if you had parents, there's another story here about her mom would always blame her for her not being able to make money, her not being able to date. She would get sick because of her child. So can you imagine having a mom that's telling you that? I mean, you grow up thinking, I'm bad, I'm guilty, I'm shameful, I cause bad luck with people. That's just not healthy. So we got to knock these conversations out of the park so that we can be at this level, the amazingness that we are. And so with that, I have homework. So if you guys are following this, there's a lot of journaling involved in meditating. So today she wants to continue distinguishing these beliefs and identities that we've been crafting since childhood. So, for example, here's the first question. What was a significant disappointment that I endured as a child? And what did this disappointment mean about me and my life? So she has a list of examples. It could be, I'm alone, I'm bad, I'm a brat, I'm a disappointment, I'm a failure, I'm fat, I'm gross. I definitely don't have all the answers. I'm reading a book. But yeah, so taking these, what is the significant disappointment as a child, and letting it flow, letting it out, because the more we get out of us, the more free we become. The next one is, what did I make this disappointment to mean with other people and the world? So, did you create a story or a conversation such as, the world is dangerous, no one can be trusted, everyone is out for themselves, I never get a break, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, bad things always happen. Like if these are comments that you're constantly saying, you're going to prevent amazingness to coming from you. You're going to prevent the magic you're going to prevent the magic from coming to you. So you want to notice this stuff. Notice the words and the things, the phrases that you constantly say. I, for a while, noticed I was saying, I'm frustrated. This is so frustrating. So that word frustrated and frustrating was in my language a lot. And I noticed this with the support of a mentor about a year ago. And since I've said or noticed it, I've completely, like, I never say it. And if I do say it, if it does come up, I'm like a light bulb. I'm like, ooh, I'm frustrated. Okay, let's do something about this and shift. I'm either not in alignment. I'm supposed to be somewhere else. Like, this isn't feeling good. So it's about noticing these words or these phrases that you constantly have playing in the back of your mind that we really aren't super conscious of, and journaling and just creating a safe space where you're comfortable and journaling about this. Well, get it out so we can let it go. And then, I love this. So 5 things, and you just write whatever comes. The first thing is I am. Just write. What are you? Are you saying positive things or are you saying negative things? Life is. Just write. The world is. Right away. Men are. And women are. So taking those and just letting it out. Writing what naturally just comes up for you. And then noticing, are these positive experiences or these negative experiences or definitions? And then noticing that and starting to shift, because it's like going to AA, right? If you go to AA, the first thing you say is, hello, I'm an alcoholic. So it's about acknowledging. That's the first step. Acknowledging what's going on, what conversations are playing in the back of your mind, those 90,000 thoughts that we have a day, because apparently it's 70% negative is the standard. I don't know how they measured that, but if 70% of our thoughts every single day are negative, we're attracting negative towards us. So we got to shift that so that we're in a state of positivity and attracting only the amazingness, and then people are going to start calling you lucky, when really all it took was a shift of the way you're thinking. So, taking this further, the bonus action is writing in your journal all these insights at the end of the day. So noticing, like tonight, when you go to bed, noticing what happened throughout the day, the thoughts that you had, if they were negative, positive, and yeah, just feel into the experience so that you can start shifting. And today, really, that's it. So it's about noticing. It's becoming really aware of how we think and how we feel. And that's it for today. So lesson 17 tomorrow will be transforming an identity. Transforming an identity. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. That sounds fun. And once again, we are reading Calling in the One, 7 weeks to attracting the love of our life. So thank you guys so much for joining on my journey, and hopefully you guys are taking this into consideration as well. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I swear. I promise. I promise. At the end of it, there's light at the end of this tunnel, but we got to uncover some of that stuff first. So yes, thank you so much, you guys. I'm Bethany Londyn, signing off. Bye.